If I may, sir, I think you have a very narrow understanding of academic work. Yeah. I am an academic. I think we've had many academics who have spoken for the last 24 hours. They go to the ground. They speak with people. They live with the people. I don't know where you're coming from to think that academics' work is done somewhere in an ivory tower. That's not the case. The evidence that has been provided over the last 24 hours is based on speaking and living with the people. You may not agree with it. You may find or you may have different evidence or different findings, but you cannot reject their work on the basis that it's not based on community-grounded interviews and research, because it is. You may have different conclusions, different findings, but that's what we need to debate. But you can't, in my view, reject the work and the evidence that has been provided by arguing that it is not scientific or that it is not derived from the communities. Because I can assure you, everyone you've heard, if you were here yesterday, they work with the people. They do research with the people. They are embedded in the people. That's how good academic research is derived, and that's where the notion of evidence-based policies is derived. But I agree that you may have different findings. I just want to insist that their work is as community-grounded as yours.
Yes,
Okay.
No, let me answer to that. No, we are working with the academy. In fact, as I mentioned, we have this institutional working agreement with Ateneo, with the University of Santo Tomas, with Saint Scholastica. I think the point is the premise that what we were talking, the premise that drugs are not a problem to be seen as a menace to the community. I think that's the premise where I said we have to be clear on that rational approach that in the ground in the Philippines, communities are deeply affected by the drug problem. That's an evidence. Now, with the academe, we work hand on hand with the academe on how to treat and how to work on drug problems. But that premise, the drug is not a menace to the country, that creates a lot of reaction from the people. That's my point.
Can I just add that?
Okay.
I'm sorry, I'm Carlos Conde from Human Rights Watch. Can I just add to that?
Okay, because you know there's another speaker
here.
I
was not allowed to ask questions earlier, so I suppose I can ask now.
Oh, but it's
the problem, Father, is that your whole basis about drugs being the only problem in this community is faulty to begin with. We're dealing not just with drugs, we're all dealing with a breakdown of law and order. We're dealing with barangay officials, barangay villages who are in on the racket, who are supplying these drugs, who are supplying this drug watch list that you seem to be so concerned about, and we are so concerned about them. But this whole premise that only drugs is only the problem, that's just not true. We're talking about a breakdown of everything in these communities. Breakdown of law and order, breakdown of the criminal justice system, police corruption, impunity. Even before all of this happened, killings were happening in this community, but nothing is being done by this government and the previous government. So really, I mean, I don't take away from you that you go into community because that's your job as a parish priest there, but there are other things that are happening as well. And I'm not even just talking about the academics here. I am a researcher. I go down to the communities. And your findings is probably different from my findings. But I tell you, it's not just the drugs. And if you are going to be so serious about this community-based rehabilitation thing, you also have to look into the other actors here, the local officials, not just the drug users. And just on that point, not all drug users are drug addicts. I have to say that.
All right.